Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. It's the heart of summer, and that means animals are out and about and they're running around. And unlike most people, they're not scared of the coronavirus. So if you find a bird, bat, raccoon, rat, snake, fox, or any other wildlife in your attic or your basement or your crawl space or even your living room, call the Wildlife Division of Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Not only have they been handling people's ants and mosquitoes and bees and spiders and such for years and years and years, decades, but they also have a wildlife division that will help get these animals. They trap them and they remove them from your property. Southeast Termite and Pest Control and their wildlife division. Okay, one last bit of patriotic, historic fun here. And again, just want to make it clear so I don't get any emails. No one here thinks football is war. We're not talking about deaths. So what we're doing is we're comparing the circumstances to a game to the circumstances of a famous battle. And we've covered summer battles. The Declaration of Independence wasn't a battle, but you get it. Gettysburg, Vicksburg, which are both 4th of July right there next to it. And now we're going to go to June 6, 1944. So let's go ahead and put up, what was Tennessee's D-Day game? And boy, this tells you, this was a light list. D-Day game, a hard-fought victory on foreign soil that served as a springboard to greater victories. Without this win, other victories would not follow, okay? And our options are 1985, Tennessee going down to Alabama, winning 16-14. And then 1998, jump forward, Tennessee-Syracuse got the whole thing going on the road, caught a break, played their guts out. Then it kind of falls off a cliff here. Josh and Mike kind of went into the gazing into the future. So in terms of without this win, other key victories would not follow. You're saying without this win, other key wins might not follow moving forward. But we had Tennessee, Kentucky from last year, and Tennessee, and it shows you the lack of victories in recent years that we're down to these two in terms of starting a movement. So D-Day game, I'm going to go ahead and say that the last two aren't on my list.
Well, they weren't on my list either, John.
And I admit I was reaching with the Indiana game.
But I think that has to show, I do think that says something about how many. There have only been a couple of big runs at Tennessee. I mean, they were long-lasting runs, but it's been a while since you've had a good run.
Yeah.
So I think that's shown here in this list. 85, 98. Where are you going, Chuck?
Well, since I would be the last person to cavalier's the question, John, I'm going to go with the 98 Syracuse game. And
You've been wrong in every single one.
Well, thank you. And the reason for that is because, that was the very start of the 98 season. You caught a break in a 1-point road win, Carrier Dome, when there could have been a pass interference called that wasn't.
The other way around.
Okay.
There was one, yeah.
But there was a lot of things that happened. You win by one on the road, you go on and win the national championship that season. You can make the case if you have the loss, that doesn't happen. So I'm going to go with it setting up things with all respect to the Dale Jones tip pass and interception, the 98 Syracuse game.
Okay, since I threw out the Indiana Bowl game last year, I'm going to give a brief advocation for it. I compared it to Omaha Beach, I said, because things were not going well. It looked like this was not going to end well. But there were late hour heroics by Tennessee in this case. They pulled it out, won the day, and the victories to follow were the recruiting successes that ending on that high note and that 6-game win streak, and now you've got all the recruiting successes. All that said, I'm going to go back to Syracuse, too.
Okay. Same reasons?
Same reasons, yeah.
I'm going to go back to the 85 Alabama game just because it's Alabama. It's on the road. You actually had Tony Robinson lost in that game. You think about the things not going in the right direction. You have the casualty of Tony Robinson.
A broken leg.
Yeah, so blown up knee.
Yeah.
I think to me, I'm going to go the most like D-Day because that's the one. If you don't get that Alabama game, there's no Sugar Bowl, there's no SEC title. So I would go there. Although that Syracuse thing is a good one as well. You could almost do any of the Auburn. I almost threw out Auburn as one of the choices here in
Yes.
addition to Syracuse back in '98, because that's another one where you're on the road, and that was in the conference.
Yeah.
I put Syracuse on the list because it was the start of the season.
And in the Auburn game, you didn't have Al Wilson, correct? He was the cheerleader on
Right.
the
Yeah,
sidelines.
and that's one where you running back issue.
Yes,
you lost Jamal
exactly.
Lewis.
So, but I mean, a lot of things are better than like Kentucky last year or Indiana in the bowl
Yeah,
game,
Josh.
setting up future success. Come on.
Kentucky, like, I would at least go with the bowl game in Indiana. The Kentucky thing from Josh, man, that was just weak. All right, so very good. We didn't have a consensus on any of these. The idea was to come up with a consensus, and instead we just debated. All right, very good. When we come back, in case you haven't heard, there's been a little debate this week about the Washington Redskins name. And then came the fact that the Cleveland Indians are looking at changing their name. The Atlanta Braves say they're not changing their name. We'll talk about nicknames. Is it time to change some of these? All of these? One or two of these? Where do you go from there? And we're still going to talk about Rebels, because you know that's coming next. Going back on the sport.